All right, so you make music, you want to build an audience, you want to be heard, have the masses appreciate your work, but you're shy or introverted. So you want the attention, but on the other hand, you fear the attention. Believe it or not, I'm introverted. Well, I'm not as introverted as I used to be. I used to deal with crippling social anxiety. I was just a weird guy that would sit in a corner and kind of be quiet, and everybody would wonder what was going on. Wasn't having a bad day, wasn't having a bad life, wasn't even in a bad mood, but I was just afraid to talk, afraid to leave the shell, afraid to leave that comfort zone that I was so used to. I know if you're making music out there and you're shy or introverted, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to connecting with the dog or the kids at a party more than the actual adults. But it doesn't have to be that way. See, we're trying to build a brand. We're trying to get all this attention for what we do, trying to take a whole group of strangers and get them passionate about what we're passionate about. But how do we do that when we're afraid of that attention that we seek? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down a few things that you can do that I did to get past those roadblocks and to get you moving in the right direction. So let's jump into it. So I know you've probably heard it before. Get over it. You're making it way harder on yourself than it needs to be. Just put yourself out there. It's not that easy. People don't get it. When you're crippled by being around a bunch of strangers, when you're crippled by the thought or the overthink of what are they going to think of me? What are they going to say? Am I going to be foolish? Am I going to be embarrassed by what I'm going to do before you even do it? So the first step, something you need to write down, is focus on the content more than the comments. If you're on social media and you're social with your friends and your family, that's cool. But when you're putting out things, especially when you're first getting started, focus on the work, focus on the content, whether it be music, whether it be photos or videos like this. And don't worry about the comments at first. If you're really crazy about worrying about what people are going to say, a lot of platforms allow you to disable the comments. But I'm going to say, if you do that, you're just slowing yourself down by being able to develop a tough skin, be able to connect with people who are supportive, and all that positivity that you're not thinking about will be there. You got to stop dwelling on what could be, the negative that could be, the one person that might troll you, and focus on the content. If you like what you're doing, if you enjoy it, and if it's something that you're proud of, focus on that. The comments and the social aspects will come very shortly after. Now, the next thing that I need you guys to focus on is your current frequency, your mood, where you're at mentally, right? When we're sad, when we're worried, when we're stressed, depressed, we're at a low frequency, right? We've all bumped into low frequency people, and I know that on a day-to-day basis, we might find ourselves in a pocket of low frequency or bad mood, a lull, whatever you want to call it, a slump in your day. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're introverted and shy, it just makes everything way more amplified. What are people going to think of me? I don't like the way my hair looks. I have a pimple on my face. These things, we really start dwelling. But on the other side of that coin, we have high frequencies. We have these moments of just joy. We have moments where we do not care. We have moments where we're just, nobody would ever think that you're shy or introverted in these pockets. And that might be your surrounding, your environment, the time of day, what you just had to eat for lunch is a prime example. Side note, if you're stuffing fast food in your face on a day-to-day basis, I find myself, and I'm only speaking for myself, but I find myself in a lower frequency when I'm doing that. If you take care of your physical health, when you take care of what you're putting in your body, overall, just kind of a little side note to all this, you're going to be living on a higher frequency. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to be experiencing less stress. And even though I'm not a mental health expert by any stretch of the imagination, I'm just telling you how I feel. Drink a lot of water, stretch, exercise. It's going to allow you to live in a higher frequency more often, which will allow you to break through those barriers of being afraid to be on camera or not liking your voice and these different things. You got to build the confidence through repetition. So create when you're at the highest frequency. Be aware of it and say, hey, now is the time to create. So what would break you out of your shyness? What would break you out of your introvertedness, right? A lot of times it's having positive reinforcement, positive feedback of what you're doing matters. What you're doing is having a positive impact on somebody else, because now, instead of just this crazy idea that you have to do something, you know that it's actually impacting people, whether it be your music itself, whether it be photos or videos, whether it be conversations you have. So I need you guys, once you're open to looking at those comments, once you're embracing those things, to start conversations with people that actually support you. That was one thing when I moved to Florida. Didn't really know anybody, was doing music and didn't think I was very good at it. I was humbled, I should say, because at one point I thought I was the shit, and I really realized quickly that I wasn't. Leaning into people and networking with people that are bringing positive vibes, obviously, but obviously bringing some positive feedback, some support, and just a shoulder to talk, cry on, a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to talk to, whatever you want to call it, really helped me. Because when you're shy and introverted, a lot of times it might feel like you don't have a lot of people in your corner. You might be cognizant of the fact that you push a lot of people out, right? You're getting invited to parties, you're getting invited to this and this and this, and eventually you say no so many times that those invites stop coming in. So when somebody comes into your life digitally, especially because then you don't have to have the face-to-face interaction, make sure that you're responding to those DMs. Make sure that you're thanking people for their support. Make sure that you're looking at what they're doing and being a friend, being a passive support system for somebody else who might be going through the same thing that you're going through. Because those friendships, those positive reinforcements in your life, even though at times I know it feels like you don't have a whole lot, the one or two can lead to 10 to 20, can lead to you impacting the world with what you're doing. When you feel a purpose, when you feel driven to do what you do, you're going to do a whole lot more of it. You're going to become more confident. If you ever want to go look at my old YouTube videos, they are super cringe. And that's for a reason. I didn't find my purpose. I didn't find my stride. But through consistency and time, I am where I am today. And I'm confident talking to you guys. I'm way less introverted than I used to be. But we'll talk about that in a second. Now, I used to be really introverted, very shy. But I could also remember when my aunts or my uncles came over or friends of my parents came over, I would be kind of like the goofball, the class clown, the guy making impressions, and I felt like I was my best self. So it always was a struggle for me to wonder why I could be like this with certain people and then with other people that I don't even know, that I don't even really care about. I'm completely crippled by my anxiety. I'm completely crippled by shyness, introverted, whatever you want to lean on. And then I realized I was leaning on that. So one thing you have to do to break through these chains, break through these, restrictions that you put on yourself is to really lean in to who you want to become. Lean in to where you want to go. So many times we say, "Oh, I'm just shy. I'm just introverted. I don't want to do that. I'm just an introverted person." And then all of a sudden that becomes your narrative as far as who you are. And that doesn't have to be that way. What we have to do is say, hey, building my brand, hey, building this attention for myself, my music, my YouTube videos, my Instagram, my whatever you want to do is a good exercise to be the best version of you, to be the best version to the world of who you know you can become. And we're in control of that narrative. We're in control of what we want to look like, how we want to sound, who we want to be as far as the perception that we're putting out into the world. If you come off as shy, if you come off as insecure, if you come off as this skeptical, cynical, whatever the mindset, the mood might be, the world receives us as that. That's why so many of you, I know you guys watching this right now, going from middle school to high school to college, college to the working class, maybe moved into a different state like I did in Florida, from Wisconsin to Florida. You could be whoever you want to be. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can always reinvent yourself. Who you are right now with anxiety, who you are right now maybe struggling with a little bit of depression or mood swings or whatever, seek help if it's really an issue. Therapy will help you. I know so many people in my life that have been blessed with a really good therapist and seeking help, knowing that, hey, I want to improve my life. And maybe sometimes talking to somebody's going to help. Now, I know that the introverted, shy spectrum is, I've met the most extroverted people ever, and there's moments where they seem a little introverted. They seem like, oh, I'm usually a party guy, but right now I'm going to back it off a little bit. So the first step in any of this stuff is to identify and kind of come to terms with, yeah, I'm shy, I'm introverted, but that's not who I am. That's just a characteristic of who I am right now. So create when you're at high frequency. Surround yourself with loved ones. Surround yourself with support. Work through everything as a day-to-day thing. Don't get too frustrated at yourself. Don't get down in the dumps. Create what you are passionate about, because what you're passionate about will lead to who you want to be. Now, guys, I know I ramble. I know I go off on a tangent when it comes to this stuff. It's because I believe that who you are now does not dictate who you can become. So if you're shy, if you're introverted, just know that I've dealt with it. A whole lot of people that are watching this, a whole lot of super successful people that are just mind-blowingly larger than life now, at some point we're in the same position that you and I were in. Now, if you want to learn how to build your brand, if you want to learn how to grow, I suggest watching this video next. Join the channel family here by hitting that subscribe button, smash that bell icon and the thumbs up while you're at it, help the algorithm. And guys, I'd love for you to come connect with me over on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. And until next time, I appreciate you watching.